Welcome to Wisdom on the Front Porch. Subscribe, ring the bell, like, and share the wisdom. Pull up a chair and join us with today's guest.
Thanks for pulling up a chair today on the front porch. And we have a special guest today. Dave is here with us. So, Dave, introduce yourself to our audience.
Well, my name is Dave Letterfly, and I am an author, I'm an artist, I'm a speaker, and I just like to have fun. I got a background with horses, and I've lived an interesting life, starting with playing the drums on the circus that used to make one-day stands going across this country way back in the 70s, back in the good old days when we had lots of circuses around. And I just was introduced to an interesting way to live my life. And I've applied myself with what I learned later in life as my career as an artist started to evolve. And I would discover niche markets that required that I be flexible with lots of things. So the ability to travel has been a big part of my success, and I am still traveling today. I have a RV and I have a route of Harley Davidson stores that I go through between the East Coast and the Midwest, and I decorate motorcycles everywhere I go and work on the next book.
That's awesome situation. So for those that are watching the video, Dave is a little bit slower than what his voice is, but it's kind of working. You'll see him kind of glitching. He's got a mobile hotspot because he does travel around so much. And those are one of the things that you have to consider. When you're starting out, a lot of times you don't have the best equipment, so you do what you can with what you have. But the sound is coming through clear, so we're going to go ahead and continue on because most of this is audio. So Dave, that is amazing. How did you get started in working with Harley Davidson motorcycles?
Well, it started long before just simply working on Harley Davidson motorcycles because my career has like undergone an evolution. It seems like about every 10 years my career looks different.
Oh,
So I actually started as a sign painter. And
oh,
as you
wow.
probably recall, the computer took over the sign painting game back in the late 80s. So I had to evolve. And that's when I discovered a huge market for putting murals on the backs of motorhomes. That was a phenomenon that was
Yes.
just starting in the late 80s. And that lasted for 20 years. And then it went away because of the computer and technology again, when technology came up with the ability to digitally print virtually anything you could think of. And so it took the artist out of the picture, and I had to evolve again. And serendipity is I have to give serendipity a whole bunch of credit here because some of my motorhome customers owned Harley Davidson
Oh,
dealerships, and they asked me to come to their dealership and paint murals inside the buildings. That was back in the era
oh,
when they were building all these fancy big brick and
yeah, they're
mortar tail
beautiful. Yeah.
situations. Yeah. And so they wanted murals painted on the inside. And while I would be in those situations, painting beautiful murals on the walls, the motorcyclists would come in and watch me paint. And then they'd say, "Hey, could you come out to the parking lot and look at my bike?" And
That's
that's when I
awesome.
figured out, wow, the place for me to be is in the parking lot at a Harley Davidson dealership. So that's my pretty much my main gig today, even though I'm not certainly not limited to that.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. And I've been in the Harley stores, so I've probably seen your mural, and they're
Oh, good.
beautiful. Absolutely. Yeah, and A lot of people think, oh, motorcycles are so small, you can't do much to them, or you just put fire on them. And it's like, oh no, I've seen some of the most amazing, amazing artwork on motorcycles, and they're beautiful. They're elegant. Some of them are kind of controversial, but that's up to the artist, and the biker. But a lot of them are really just beautiful works of art. And I'm so glad you can express yourself that way and share with the world. I mean, what a talent you have to do something like that. And look how flexible you've become. So as entrepreneurs, you did exactly what we're supposed to do. You go along, everything's going great, and then something happens, and it's like you need to make an adjustment. So instead of saying, oh, woe is me, I'm just going to quit the business and go work for somebody else, you said, you know what? I can go adjust here. Or there you were at the Harley Davidson motorcycle place, and someone said, hey, come take a look at my bike. And so you said, hey, I can do this too. So that's just wonderful that you've done that. What was it difficult to change from one to the other, or is it just kind of a natural change? I mean, you're still pretty much
It's
doing the
just
same thing you were doing.
pretty much, yeah. Still painting by hand with paint, which is kind of a disappearing trade.
Yes.
And uh, so I'm sort of an anomaly also. But was it difficult? Well, it just like you were saying, there's a certain emotional state that you got to go through, and it starts
Okay.
with woe is me. What am I gonna do now? But then the creative mind, once we start using our imagination and thinking of other ideas, and then when we credit serendipity for putting us in the right place at the right time, all we got to do is open our eyes and recognize a new market.
Yes.
And a lot of times, the imaginative entrepreneur mentality is applies himself even further and creates a novel way to present their product to the market when they discover that market to optimize the
That's
return. So
That's a really
definitely, yeah.
great insight that you have there. So, so you've had to do that with all of these. Let's take your last adjustment, going to the motorcycles. So how do you optimize that? How do you get to know where the other people are? I mean, if you go to the dealerships, are people coming out saying, "Hey, we don't want you over here in our parking lot. You're taking business away from you," or "We didn't ask you to be here." How does that all work?
The Not all Harley Davidson dealerships are alike. It just
Right.
depends on their business. Like you said, if their business model involves fear of scarcity, well, then they're not those are not the dealerships that are interested in having me around. But if their dealership is sincerely interested in providing what they can to benefit their following, well, then I'm a perfect fit because
Oh, yeah.
it's more than just I'm more than just an artist in the parking lot. I'm providing a value added attraction for the business because the business knows that uh, if there's some aspect that the customer gets to engage in that will heighten pride in ownership of his bike, and that is, uh, the personalization,
Yeah.
customization, making it unique, making it more valuable than it was before, then they're all gung ho and interested in having me. And those kinds of dealerships have me a year after year after year. And as
Awesome.
the and since the years have gone by, I've developed a route where I have a regular stop, and so that
Oh,
their
nice.
client group they're waiting for me to get there
Yeah,
annually.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
It
I wonder
really
if
is.
anybody's ever thought about any of the companies, and this is just my thought, is let's have Dave customize this bike, and then we'll put it on display, and we'll maybe have an event around it, and maybe we'll sell raffle tickets or something, and and I don't know, something like that, just to bring in, notice of what's going on and what's
And yeah,
available.
there's a that's a very, very typical way that sales the sales staff will use me. They'll have me put some simple decorations on a bike to make it stand out from the other bikes on the floor. And
Nice.
it creates interest because that's really the first thing you look at when you look at a motorcycle is you look at the paint.
Yeah.
And so they know that putting a couple of finishing touches on the bike will make the people walk over to it immediately, and it makes it sell faster. So that's
Yep.
one of the ways that the dealerships use me, and in the other ways, like you were saying, they make it into an event. They make it into an excuse to invite their clientele to the store because the clientele, they know everything that's in the building.
Right.
There's a real
Right.
reason to go to the building unless they're looking for a particular item they have for sale. But when they have the artist at the store for 1 week and 1 week only, they can advertise
There
that
you go.
and then generate some traffic. So yeah, the savvy businessmen are happy to have me on the property.
That's awesome. I love that. That is good. Yeah, when we buy our bikes, yeah, the color, you know, does it look plain ordinary, or does it just kind of pop out to you? And we usually look at a couple of different kinds, and then we look at the power, you know, or maybe we find something that we really like. Can you get it in a different color? What can we do to it? So yeah, we always do something with
Hmm.
our bikes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so true. And that could be for a lot of things, whatever we do, whether it's books or something. I know an artist who, when she does her books, she actually colors on the outside of them so it kind of looks like it's marbled, like the books used to look like. Or she'll put designs on it, like mountains or trees, something that has to do with the story. And it's like, if I was that talented, I would do that to my books. But yeah, I'm getting there. And that's one thing I want to bring out to people is just because you weren't able to do something a few years ago doesn't mean you can't do it now. And as long as we're talking about artwork, the case in point, I my artwork was very minimalistic. I could draw stick figures, and that was about it, maybe an outline of a tree or something. But over the years, I realize I've learned, and now I'm making artwork for my grandkids. I've got some artwork in that's going in a local studio here in Texas, and so it's like, wow, I can do this, and you know, for me, whether the artwork sells or not is not the point. It's like I did it,
Hmm.
and it was something I could never do before. So anytime there's something you wanted to do when you were younger and you didn't do it now, go for it. Don't let it hold you back. And you might find that it might enhance something in your company too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is it like traveling around all the time, living in an RV, not having a house to
Oh,
come home to? But you do have a home
well,
to
I
come home to.
I do have a house. I do have a home, and it's in Florida. And the only time I want to be in Florida is during the winter. So
Yep.
I'm home 5 months a year, and then I'm in the RV 7 months of the year.
Oh, wow.
Like right now, I'm in Virginia, and
Oh,
it's
nice.
45 degrees at night
Ooh,
and 75 degrees in the daytime. Where down in Florida right now, it's the temperature's climbing because it's already May. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yep, definitely.
That's what I enjoy. For the month of August, I'm in Michigan.
Oh, wow.
There's no better place to be in the country in August than Michigan.
No mosquitoes out there?
No, not too much, not like
Okay.
Minnesota or Canada or something. That's where the
Yeah.
mosquitoes are the size of ponies.
For Texas. I was mowing the other day and I could not believe how big those mosquitoes were. And it's like, man, I guess everything is bigger in Texas. Oh man. Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Well,
fun.
this interesting life that I live, going from town to town, and you know what's also interesting is that I tell people, they go, "My God, you must put a lot of miles on every year." And I really don't. I explain
Oh,
I drive less when I'm on the road than when I'm at home.
really? Oh, that's
Yes,
surprising.
because I drive once a week. I go to the next Harley Davidson dealership. And once I'm at the Harley Davidson dealership, the only thing I got to do is during the week is run to breakfast, run to the laundromat, run to the this, just
Yeah.
run errands.
Oh,
Home,
wow.
uh, it at home, typically, sometimes I'll drive, 100 miles in a day, just running.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, you got to go home. You got to turn around and
Yeah.
go home. If you go do a, put a gold leaf name on a boat over at the marina, when you're done working, you got to drive back home. Or if you got to go downtown to the fire engine museum and do some decorative stuff on one of their museum pieces,
Oh,
when you're done, you got to turn around and drive home. Or if you got to drive this, so when I'm at home, that's when I do a lot of driving. But when I'm on the road, I get to enjoy because at the end of the day, after decorating motorcycles, I can walk to the RV.
yes. Yes,
So I
absolutely.
actually that's where I get my writing done is when I'm on the road
Nice. I was
because
going
I'm
to
a
ask, does it get
riser.
lonely? How do you occupy your time? And writing is
Maybe
a good
that's
way to do
part.
that.
Yeah, maybe that's a big reason why that's become a regular part of my routine is because
Yeah.
yeah, it's just me on the road.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, and you do. You got to find a place to write, wherever it is, whether it's 15 minutes in your car when you get home before you walk in the house, or 15 minutes in your car before you walk into the building in the morning. Or the kids have gone to bed. That's one of the things I talk about with my clients is you have to find a place to write that's
Uh-huh.
uninterrupted, that is the same time, the same place, the same day, so that your brain is already moving into your book and getting ready to where it needs to be instead of trying to just jump into it and you've got all these things going on in your mind. You need to just let it go for a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
my style is to wake up early and I typically write 2 hours in the morning.
oh, nice. Yeah, I love mornings to
Hmm.
write. Yeah, absolutely. Get a lot more done then. Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
I've always
And
been early.
e- even while I'm busy with my regular day, all the time I'm decorating or interacting with others in the back of my mind, I'm still developing. My brain is percolating on the whatever the piece is that I'm working on. So when I
Yeah.
get back to it the next morning, it flows right out. I've
Oh,
already made
that's
a whole
awesome.
lot of decisions in regards to what it is that I want to do to elevate the level of the piece.
Yeah. So what do
Mhm.
you write about?
Well, the book I'm writing about now, I've written three memoirs,
Oh, well,
and they pretty much revolve around that really, really interesting life that I got to live around the circus and with
okay.
training horses and those kinds of
Oh
things.
my.
But I'm tackling a project now. I grew up in the Midwest, and my older brother he produced bizarre behavior for which there was no explanation for back in the 1950s.
Oh wow.
And a couple of decades later, he was diagnosed. He had a form of autism called Asperger's.
Oh yeah, I
And
know what
so
that is.
I'm writing the story about being the little brother of a boy with Asperger's and how frustrating that was and how it influenced me socially and those kinds of things, and how it affected my little sister, who had a
Oh,
completely different way of responding to
right.
the condition. And so it's a story about the family. And so I'm putting the the three contrasting uh with vignettes throughout our entire life. There's like act one and then act two, and then we
Oh,
mature and enter into part of my story has to do with recovery from alcoholism. And
oh my.
the yeah, the process involves a lot of healing in regards to past behaviors and especially beliefs and stuff. So I've
Yeah.
had the
Oh man.
opportunity to enter into a more functional relationship with my brother instead of like when I was a kid when I just hated his guts.
Wow.
So today we have it's a complete transformation that has taken place. So that's the that's the project that I'm working on right now.
That sounds so good.
That
And I know families where the kids don't know how to handle the brother. And then as they get older, there's other challenges that come on with that. And it's it can be very tough. And to have someone who's gone through it and now you've got a great relationship, I mean, that gives a lot of hope right there. But
yeah,
I know you give insights as to how that came about, that you just didn't wake up one day and said, okay, I've had enough. I'm just going to make sure everything's great with my brother. There had to be some healing and some changes and some mindset and a whole lot. I'm not going to say more because I know this is a great book. I can hardly wait till it's get
yeah,
done. And for our listeners, for our audience that's sitting here on the porch with us, um, is he's going to come back. He's going to be on my other podcast, Reading Between the Words, which is part of Wisdom on the Front Porch, and he's going to talk
mhm.
about his book. So I'm really excited about that.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
that just sounds so wonderful. I'm glad you wrote that. That's, to write something that's so raw and so personal. It's a tough thing. I have a lot of clients who come to me who want to share a story, but they're so afraid that they're going to hurt the other people in the story, or they don't know how to write it without, well, somebody might find out it's about me. And we
Yeah.
talk about all of those things and how to get through that. So
Hmm.
to actually have you write your story, that's really wonderful that you're willing to do that. And I know that it is going to help families who are going through a similar situation.
Definitely. Yeah. And
Wow.
that's the
Yeah,
whole
I
purpose.
really want to talk about this book more, but we need to talk more about you.
Okay.
So, all these people that you're meeting on your journeys and all, do you have some that you have just developed really great friendships with? How does that work? I know when I grew up moving, it was really tough. I mean, we would move sometimes 6 times a year, and it was tough developing a
Oh,
relationship that way. Now that I'm older, yeah, it's not so bad. Gosh, I've got so many people I've met through the writing world and through the coaching world and the entrepreneurship world, that is wonderful. But you're traveling all the time. How does how does how do the dynamics work?
I have friends. I have probably more friends than Santa Claus,
Awesome.
and they're all over the country. And I just can't wait to see them when I do see them. And it's just like
Oh,
I've got a friend in New Jersey who's over in China right now, and he's
oh,
sending me pictures of things that he's discovering in China. He walked the wall of China. He's
wow.
showed me incredible airports and incredible places over there. And that's just one of my friends. So
Wow.
uh, I really don't have a chance to get lonely very much.
Yeah.
And it's just like here at the Harley store, they roar in and roar out throughout the day, and a lot of them I met them last year, the year before. The next I go from here, I go to Fairfax, Virginia, and this will be my 18th year
Oh,
at
wow.
Patriot Harley Davidson for Rolling Thunder. And so I'll
Oh,
have a whole bunch of people that I've seen over the years that will all arrive for that particular event. So
that's
definitely, I got lots
awesome.
and lots of. Thanks to Facebook and some of these other things, I get to stay in touch with
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's really nice. I mean, that's a lot of times that's how I stay in touch with my family, with all my cousins and second
Hmm.
cousins and third cousins is, and we talk about what's going on and we don't have the yearly family reunions that we had when I was younger. And so it's nice to be able to have a place where we can all kind of get together and share some things and talk
Yeah.
about what's going on and say, hey, I'm going to have this barbecue or whatever, anybody, if you're welcome, or if you're going to be in the area, you're welcome to attend. And it's really great to be able to do that. Even with friends,
Yeah.
it's wonderful to have that connection. I know that a lot of times we say, I'm so tired of having electronic anything around. I just want it to go away for a while. That's okay. Take a break, take a walk away from it. It's good to do that. But it's nice that we do have this. I mean, look, I get to talk with you, and I never would have got to meet you if it wasn't for this. And I love that. Same with my other guests. Um,
Yeah.
it's amazing. I have a really good friend in Ireland now, and another one in England, and it's like I am going to go one day, but I am going to go, and it's nice to know somebody that's going to be there. I'm actually looking really forward to it because there's like a lot of somebody's I'm ready to hug in person.
That's great. That's exciting. Yeah.
So I want to ask you something a little different that probably most podcasters aren't going to ask you. Tell me about the food in the different places in the US. I love eating at different restaurants. I love sampling what people say, "Oh, this is just great. You've got to try it." And either I like it or I don't. But I love the different foods. What do you find where you're at? Or do you mostly stay in your RV and eat?
I pretty much I have a signature salad that I make that started as a tabbouleh recipe, and then I doctor it up with other kinds of stuff because I'm
Oh,
a
wow.
very healthy eater,
Nice.
and I was very fortunate to learn the value of a good diet back in my 20s when I visited a charismatic Christian commune whose part of their ministry had to do with nutrition. So I
Oh,
learned about nutrition in my 20s. So I've become a very responsible eater. I don't go out to eat very much. Now I
okay.
do like to eat my breakfast out. And since I'm an early riser, uh, a lot of times I go to the little diner and sit there, and that's where I drink my coffee and I do my writing, and
Yeah.
I'll have just a standard breakfast, an omelet with some toast and stuff. So in regards to eating out a whole lot, there are places that stand out because in Fairfax, a block up the street from the Harley Davidson store, there's a place where it's a Vietnamese place where they have pho.
Okay.
Have you ever had pho?
No, I've
Yeah,
heard
and
about it
so
though. Yeah.
that's one of the things that I'll do while I'm there is I'll go have a
I like
bowl of pho.
Fairfax. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there are other places. When I'm in Gettysburg, I like to go to the Lincoln Diner, and it's
Okay.
a Greek, it's an old time diner, and they have Greek good things. So I'll get a spinach pie or some grape
Oh,
leaves or something
yummy.
like that. And uh, then there's other places in the country too, but as a rule, I pretty much graze throughout the day eating apples and carrots and my special salad and
Nice.
other forms of nutrition. Yeah, because
That's wonderful.
at the end of the day, I don't want to go out. I want to just
Yeah.
decompress. And since I'm an early riser, I need to get to bed early too.
Yes, absolutely. So, have you ever had to have medical care while you're on the road?
No, I haven't. I've
Good
been
for
very
you.
fortunate. I take care of myself, and as a result, I'm very, very healthy.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I didn't know if maybe
Hmm.
you stumbled one time or something fell, you need to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Because I know that's one thing that people are concerned about traveling is, well, what if something happens? And it's like, well, what if nothing happens? But I understand, trying to be prepared and take care of things. Um, wow, what an amazing life, an amazing way to have an entrepreneurship on your terms.
There was there was an old timer on the very first circus I was ever on, and he was quite elderly. I was 16 years old, and I was always fascinated. He would tell these stories about when he was a boy, and he was on those old-fashioned uh, circuses where they had the teams of horses that would pull the
Mhm.
wagons to the next town. And he would talk about, that was one of the things you had to do when you were on there. You had to sit on a wagon behind a team of horses. You didn't have to do much because the horses just followed the ones that were ahead of them, but you
Right.
had to, sit there. And there's a certain wisdom that I learned from that guy. And one of the things that he would say is that I don't dare take a day off because they might find out they can live without me. And that sort of that sort of imprinted me, and
Yeah,
it made me it probably influenced my work ethic and certainly my trajectory, because when if you did have a sniffle or a sprained ankle, you still had to show up at showtime and play the drums.
right,
You just
right.
had to do your best. So yeah, it's just not necessarily an excuse. And it's like with my attitude, now that I'm in my golden years, I got no business getting hurt.
No,
And it's really amazing
I agree.
how it's re- really amazing how easy it is to, like you said, have the right attitude. What could go right?
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
a beautiful day. We've got all of our faculties, and we've got plenty to be grateful for.
Oh,
So
yeah, that
definitely,
attitude
yeah.
of gratitude. Yeah, makes a huge
Hmm.
difference. It does.
Really
I've
does.
got a friend who's in her 70s and she writes a gratitude journal. She's been doing it, I think, for over 10 years now. And she just has the greatest outlook on life. She's running now, she's doing marathons. I mean, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting
Yeah.
in my chair letting my knee heal from knee surgery, knee replacement surgery with my blanket. And it's like, can't I go do something now? But but I do. I do. I'm actually further along than a lot of people at this stage. I was really surprised
Uh-huh.
that Doc said that because I thought, man, I didn't do anything, but I'm getting more. I can get down on my hands and knees now, or crawl across the bed, to make it, or fluff the pillows, whatever, or kick the dog off. But I couldn't do that a few weeks ago. So every
Uh-huh.
day it's something new. It's like, yeah, I don't want to be held back. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I don't know about us older people that just keep on going like the Energizer Bunny.
Going and going and going.
That's right. We
Yeah.
just
I'm
don't
going to be
stop.
like Clint. I'm going to be like Clint Eastwood. They ask him how he does it, and he says, "Every morning when I get up, I don't let the old man get up."
There you
He's
go.
just got the right attitude.
I love
Yep.
that. I love that. Yeah, I just saw that. I think Dick Van Dyke turned 100
He's a
and
hundred
he's
years
still doing yoga
old. Yeah.
and laughter. And he goes, I just
Hmm.
keep going, and it's
Yeah.
wonderful. It's wonderful. Yeah, yeah, taking care of our bodies. That's so good. I
Yep.
know my arthritis is starting to act up a little bit now, and not sure why. It's just like all of a sudden it decided to start growing again, and it's like I can't do this. I need to find a way to tell it to go away. I don't have time for you. I got too much life to do. But
Yeah.
yeah, Yeah, and I'm not one for doing a lot of over-the-counter meds or
Me either.
going to the doctor and taking Western medicine. If I have to, I have to, but a lot of it just doesn't react well with me. So
Hmm.
I've been going to Sifu Raphael, who does this mind, body, soul, and it's really great.
Yeah.
He's showing me what I can do and how I can do more stretching and stay limber and the right
Yeah.
foods. I know when I stopped eating processed foods, especially foods that had high fructose corn syrup, when I first stopped that, I didn't know what I was going to eat because it seemed like everything had high fructose corn syrup in it. But I found there's a lot of foods that don't. And then trying to stay away from processed foods is hard when my husband brings it home because he likes them and that's his life. He can choose that.
Oh,
But but that's where my willpower and my saying, nope, I want to feel good. I don't want this arthritis growing.
good for you.
But yeah, taking care of ourselves too is helping us take care of our business so we can take care of our clients
Definitely.
and I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to uh Virginia next after this?
I mean, yeah, I'm in Virginia now, and I go to Fairfax for Memorial Day weekend. So I'll
Okay.
be headed up there in a couple of days.
Oh,
And then
nice.
from there, I go down to Norfolk, which is still in
Oh, wow.
Virginia. And there I
Yeah.
go to New Jersey and then up to Pennsylvania.
Oh
And
my.
these are all relatively short jumps, just none
Yeah.
of them are 200 miles.
Oh, yeah. It's too bad we aren't going to be in Pennsylvania at the same time. I'm going to be there at the end of May for the uh trying to have the Guinness Book World Records attempt for the most author signing a book at the same time. And so that's
Wow.
May 30th. I'm pretty excited about it. And then I have some of
That,
my books there. So
that's super. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I could join you and get one more author site signing
That
a
would
book.
be awesome. Come on.
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
That'd be
Yeah.
neat.
Oh, thank you so much for being on my show, Dave. The time just gets away from us. It's a good conversation. I'm really pleased to know of what an amazing life you're living and that you're enjoying every minute of it and you're giving so much to other people. Where can people find your books and where can they get a hold of you?
Well, the easiest way to get a hold of me is through my website, which is real easy to remember, letterfly.com.
Nice.
And I have created a special place for your listeners to go get a free download of my book, Hit the Road and Thrive: 7 Secrets for Living the Dream, which is
Oh,
my formula living an incredible life. They can get a free download. All they got to do is go to the website daveletterfly.com.
awesome. Oh, thank you so much. Wow, there you go, guys. You come on the show and you get a free gift like
Get a
Oprah.
free book. Yeah. And all they're trying to do is make the world a better place.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Dave, I definitely look forward to you coming back again. I want to hear about all of those books. I want to hear about this last book. When do you think it might be ready? Do you have a launch date in mind?
No, not at all. I'm
Not
still in
yet.
the developmental part
Okay.
of it. I've got
Okay.
another one I have another book that's further along
All right.
that it takes the reader through a relationship that I had with this very, very special horse
Oh,
that started
wonderful.
with he was a colt, and then I took him through the training process, and we began performing with the circus, and we even won first place at the Sarasota Circus Talent Competition back in
Wow.
1989,
Oh,
all the
that's
way through
amazing.
to his golden years. And he developed a problem in his feet, and I eventually had to put him down. And
Oh,
so
that's harsh.
it's a love story, and
Yes.
it's a story about connection and belonging and those kinds of things. So that one is further along. So that'll probably be the next one that gets published.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I had a Mustang that I was training, and my husband got a job. He got injured at work, and he just couldn't go back to the same job he was doing because it would have just kept re-injuring, and then he wouldn't have been able to use his arm at all. Um, so we moved down here to Texas, but in the meantime, I had to find homes for our horses because we didn't know where we were going to be. And you can't just keep a big old Mustang inside your RV with you. It just doesn't work very well.
Um,
But the day, just a couple hours before she was going to get picked up, we got to hug each other and just that connection finally happened. And it was like, oh my, and I have to give you up. I about cried. And I gave her a kiss and I kept brushing her. But I know she went to a really good home with young kids who were going to take good care of her. So that was good. But
good.
whew, yeah, that was tough to say goodbye when you finally make that connection. It was wonderful. Well, Dave,
Yeah.
thanks so much for being here. Be sure to visit him at daveletterfly.com for his book and go to letterfly.com to find out more about Dave.
Very good. Well, thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you. And thank you, our audience, for pulling up a chair on the front porch. I just love that you were able to join us. And to let you know, in September, we will be doing live shows so you can interact with the show right while it's happening. All right. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my Front Porch friends and neighbors, for pulling up a chair with me and my guest today on Wisdom on the Front Porch. Now, if you've got value from this conversation, would you do me a favor? Leave a quick review, then share it with someone you know who could use some inspiration. It helps more friends find their seat on the porch. And hey, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss what's next. Until then, keep the porch light on for new wisdom every time you show up. Your seat's always here for you on the porch.